Yeah.
Affordable housing is needed in San Diego County. There's a very real housing problem that exists in San Diego County. It's affected and spread to the middle class, and we have homelessness rising here in San Diego County. The reality of being homeless is right outside of each of our doors. I had an experience last month here during the rainy month of March, and I had a very sad situation when I saw a homeless man that was laying in a ditch. And I saw this from my vehicle, and it was so sad to see this, and I couldn't believe that I was in San Diego County. More importantly, I couldn't believe this was happening in America. And it really, it was disturbing, but I just felt like, animals are treated better than this. Good afternoon, my name is Mac Baker. We have a serious housing problem, and the government must now help those families that can no longer afford housing, as it is a result of manipulation of interest rates that have created a record level cost of housing. The Federal Reserve must stop with the manipulation of low interest rates in our current market that is driving housing prices higher and rentals higher as well. Intermediate action is needed to alleviate the lack of affordable housing in San Diego County. So I believe affordable housing should be available to anyone who lives and works in San Diego County. So now that we've talked a little bit about the problem here, we look here at there's a very real housing crisis, and that's spread to the middle class. What we also are looking at here is, I've got a little illustration here with you can see some of the housing prices that have continued to go up. Current record level highs parallel to the high-level rental market, and single-family residences now have become multiple tenant dwellings as a result. You've got children now that are living at home with their parents longer, and families that now, two-thirds of our households with mortgages, two-thirds of the mortgages right now are cost burden in San Diego County. So the state does not provide enough housing is what the real issue is to accommodate our population growth. Policymakers are not worried about the crisis that's created by the manipulation of record level lows and the interest rates by our Federal Reserve. See, the Federal Reserve lowered our interest rates back in 2008 during the housing crisis, and they lowered them to record level lows of 0% for the federal funds rate and the federal discount rate. What this has created is basically this continuation of extremely low rates has extraordinary high cost here throughout the housing market in San Diego County. It's basic economics, folks. It's interest rates go down, housing prices go up. And limited supply creates higher prices as well, so the supply and demand. More of the middle class are becoming homeless due to job loss of unforeseen circumstances. Now, CAR, as I show here, my next slide, is California Association of Realtors. They published in 2017, March 7th, the average sales price in San Diego County is now $595,040. So a median income qualifying income is actually $116,900. Who can afford a mortgage payment of $5,000 a month? Also, who's making $116,000 a year? So very few of us, as we find out that the average median income for a family of 4 in San Diego County, that's also known as an AMI, is $63,400. So utilizing HUD's definition, affordable housing for low-income families, which is households earning up to 80% of that amount, would be equal to an apartment renting for $1,500 per month or a home under $225,000. There's little or no supply of homes that are cost under $225,000 or apartments that are under $1,500. So this continues to be a growing problem for those who cannot afford to buy or rent. And we've got more elderly folks living out of their cars, and as more people that are on fixed income. And this breaks my heart as well, as I see a lot of older families here, and even the city of Oceanside, living out of their cars. That this could be my mom and dad or my grandparents or any of ours. And that's what's it's a continuation that happens as the homeless continues to rise in San Diego. One reporter with the San Diego County Tribune had reported his name is Worth, in 2016, a great article that the annual homeless count is reported by the U.S. Department of Housing and Urban Development to determine the homeless funding. Now, HUD reported in 2016 they conducted a pre-dawn audit. Basically, they interviewed the homeless people, went up to them and found out what, their situations. And they have to continue to do this, but on January 29, 2016, they found 8,692 homeless people throughout the San Diego County. Now, the city of San Diego has the largest population at 5,093 homeless people, and Oceanside has the second highest number than any other city in the county, with 667. So Escondido was second with 532, and here Vista with 423 homeless people. Now, there was a total of 876 people throughout those coastal North County cities that represented a 38% increase from homelessness from 2015 to 2016. Now, in North County inland cities, there was 1,159 homeless people that had represented a 26% increase from 2015. So here we've established the problem. We see the problem exists. The problem is that state leaders have not helped our homeless crisis here, our housing cost in San Diego County, and the homelessness has increased throughout the San Diego County. And now I'd like to present my solution. So a solution would be our city leaders and organizers must seek new development projects of single-family condominium apartments. The nonprofit California Partnership Corporation has determined that the county needs an additional 142,564 rental units. HUD-approved condominium projects that are eligible for FHA, first-time home buyer programs, and DAP programs, which are down payment assistance programs. I have another great option, and that's to provide alternative, cost-effective containers retrofitted as modular type construction. These are what you can see them at the harbor, at the Port of Los Angeles, the Port of Long Beach. These are you see them as the trans container that they use for ocean shipping. And this would be a great idea, as they're certainly ideal for high wind and for seismic zones that we have here in California. Now, in the city of in the city of Vista, a project called Santa Fe was built in 2015. This complex cost about $20 million to be built, about $294,000 a unit. Most of that $16.6 million came from low-income family tax credits. Others came from the city of Carlsbad, which gave community developers a block of grants to help people that from 18 to 24 years old that were transitioning from foster care systems. My units here, in addition to being able to build communities, kind of much like you see with the Indian reservations, we can build these modular home communities at a very low cost, at about $40,000 per unit, compared to the high cost of just under $300,000 per unit that are presently being built for affordable housing. So in summary, the government must now help these families that can't afford affordable housing, as these interest rates and the other, as the Federal Reserve is manipulated, and right now the lack of construction has provided. So we need immediate action and to have housing that should be affordable to everyone here in San Diego County. So your legacy is to help your children and your children's children. Thank you.